Well, hello. Good morning. It's about 9:32 a.m. and I haven't really been to sleep yet, technically, but whatever. Depends on my mood with me. Sort of feeling tired, but not tired. It's a combination of things. I'm not really feeling really tired at the moment. Slept pretty well yesterday, so that was pretty good. Anyway, YouTube, what the flip have I got on my mind today? Aside from my new camera and everything else I've been testing out, you've also my recent ROM setup. Hold on a moment. Gotta turn this down to low because it is fucking hot. Sorry, I've just got a heater on. Gotta turn it down to low. What am I thinking? I'm thinking that I've sort of started to fix some of my internet issues, so that's sort of related to itself anyway. I mean, my internet's always been crappy anyway, so uploading videos and doing other things on the internet is sometimes problematic, especially when I'm using things like Skype and things of that nature. So it comes and goes, and most of the time it's okay. Most of the time it's actually reasonable, which is good. Which, persistence on my part pays through. Right. What else am I doing on my minds? I've basically been mucking around with... I want to do a commentary for the last video that I had for where I had a few of my friends, a couple of overseas mates, one local mate in the party, but he couldn't really speak, couldn't really hear him. Well, anyway, we were playing a game of Minecraft and we were blowing shit up, basically dynamite everywhere. I have to do a commentary on it, to be honest, and I've been putting it off, sort of thinking, well, I'm going to do a commentary to it, but I'm sort of reluctant. I don't know, I'm not reluctant, I'm procrastinating. That's my problem. I know, I realise I'm doing this, so that's okay. What I'm going to do is do a commentary for that. I recently went to my nephew's school play, Jacob, and well, not his school play, it was the whole school, but he played the main character, which was pretty cool. He was a spectacular actor, good actor by the way, fucking fantastic actor, my nephew. I give him kudos on that, to be honest, because he's my nephew, and wow. Yeah. I just give him kudos on it. Alright, went to that recently, edited some footage back together of that. Sort of frustrating at the moment because my editing program is playing up a little bit, but that's alright, it'll eventually fix it anyway, so I'm going to go with that anyway. I'm thinking of starting some new segments. Like, I get pissed off and I rant about shit, and I know I've done this in the past, and I should be a little more let loose if I am particularly pissed off with something, or particularly pissed off with the way something's handled. I'm not just pissed off, but just generally having a piss and moan about it, or just fucking, as I classify it, as a rant. If I have a bit of a rant about it, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Personally, I haven't had much to rant about except my fucking internet lately. It's been boorishly fucking pain in the ass. Skype and my internet is two things that have sort of been bothering me, but now they've sort of rebalanced themselves. I don't know what the fuck happened. I put something up on Facebook because I was pissed off with my internet. And that's the main that's the main reason I was just fuck it, I'm just going to post some shit because I'm pissed off. I'm annoyed at motherfuckers. And I want the government to fucking well hurry up and actually get some decent fibre internet into this street. Now they're supposedly doing it this year, up to next year. It's just fuck. I've been waiting so patiently. I have patience, but my patience only goes so fucking far in some situations, to be truthful. The only reason I'll get pissed off with people, and the only reason I get pissed off with government entities and companies, is that things take so fucking long to do. I mean, even that I run my own little business thing, but, fuck, I don't know, Progression, technology. Sometimes you can't always get what you want. I fully agree with this, but it doesn't mean that I can't have the occasional bout of ranting about it, because I want to fucking do it anyway. Because sometimes it's just easier to rant about it, because if you don't rant about it, well, you might end up killing someone. Just saying. A little release of anger, if you know what I mean. Release of anger, my son! But yeah, no. My point is, you got to be able to release yourself, and you got to be able to express your emotional disheartening at something that's happening in a government entity or something that's happening in a business entity. Now, look, I don't know. I'm getting into things. I'm slowly. Things are unfolding for me. Things are falling into place. This is not the issue. I just wish it was a little more faster than it is now. That would be lovely, but unfortunately, things don't always happen that way, which is fucking annoying. Fucking annoying, frustrating, and probably a little bit sad too. But we live in a world where yeah, nothing's perfect. All systems are not 100% foolproof, perfect. That's the reason we have technicians like me to fix the problems that people come across. Saying that, I'm probably a little bit bored at the moment. I mean, I haven't had a lot of people. I had a few people come through. I've sold a couple of computers on and off here. But I mean, it's still like, you have those slow times of year or slow times of, in particular, where it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, there's not much to be done at the moment. And, I want to do something, but I don't have the necessary parts, and I have to wait to get the parts, and yeah, it's just frustrating when you've got to wait for things. Which, I mean, I think everybody knows that level of frustration, especially when you have to wait for stuff. You have to wait specifically for a time period for something to come into effect or be able to be effective. As everybody knows, I'm crazy. I already knew this part. Aside from being crazy, I don't know, I'm not just crazy, but I'm a good open-minded person. I'm a reasonably good-minded person, and I have a clear sense of conscience, moral and ethical compasses that not a lot of people do have. Because most of these people lose their fucking moral and ethical compasses a bit down the fucking drain, to be honest. Not everybody, just some people. This is some people that I've come across. But there are people who have moral and ethical compasses and things and such, and they do pretty well for themselves, and they're not bad people. But at the same time, I get frustrated. The level of frustration comes from you expect a process to be streamlined, then it doesn't get streamlined, and it seems like it's going faster. I don't know. It's a whole argument. I mean, it's a whole argument. You could probably say that I got to admit, those systems are getting more efficient. Systems, internet systems, other systems of that nature are getting more efficient to do the job that they were designed to do in the first place, which is fantastic. But with a new system comes new problems, new issues. New issues you've got to learn, new things you've got to sort out. And IT is a constant learning curve, especially for a lot of stuff. Technology-wise, new technology, old technology. Technology got just come out of the box, and you got to go, okay, we've got to find the problems first, or the problems that this device is going to have in the real world. You've also got the fact that sometimes companies do not necessarily test things in a real world environment where they would normally be tested stringently over a given period of time. Now, I've only noticed this with some products that I've purchased. I haven't noticed it with all of them. The faults are there. Obviously, if I really see a fault that needs fixing, I'm going to report it to them. I'm going to say, this is the issue with it. This is the problem. And I have done that in the past. I've reported it directly to the company and told them, this is the issue that you have with your product, and this is the reason that you need to fix it. At the time, I've reported issues with things, and then of course I've reported issues, and I mean, most companies are pretty quick to resolve issues that you have, problems that you may have, technical issues. Most of them are pretty quick. I did have an issue. Now, I had an issue with EA a while back, but that's all been sorted, which is good. I'm quite happy about that. It took me forever to fucking sort it out, because most of it had to be related to me, to be honest. And the only real way I sort of fixed it, generally speaking, was I could have actually got them to fix it on their end, but there was so much there's so much fiddling around to be done on their end, that the requirement to me to call back, because basically I had to call back at a different time when there was different people on duty. It was supervisory or something, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it just meant something along that line. Anyway, basically what I did was I bought a premium thing for Battlefield 3, which automatically got my Battlefield 2 Bad Company working again online. And it also got my other game that I had an issue because basically my Xbox Live gamer tag had become unlinked from 2 of my EA games that I had online, which was rather fucking frustrating because I couldn't play either of those games online at all. Up until the point that I decided, what the hell, I've got Battlefield 3, and it was one that I bought second hand, so I had to buy a new online licensing system. I think it was licensing or VIP, it was something along those lines anyway. I basically had to buy that to get it to work. So I bought that, which it was so many Microsoft points or something. Bought that, and everything just, and it all clicked back together and it all started working. But, saying that, I will give EA the kudos for the fact that they did adjust everything, so automatically as soon as I did buy that, everything would go back to the way it was. Now, I could have run them up and actually got to sort that out on the phone, but I bought Battlefield 3 on the Xbox anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It wasn't an issue for me because I bought it. At the time, I just thought, fuck it, you know. I might as well bite the bullet at the time, and everything just worked nicely, and now I've got that issue sorted. Am I finding any other issues, or am I coming across issues on the internet? Glitches in general, and website glitches, I'm finding frustrating. But that's, I mean, the web is constantly changing, sites are constantly doing maintenance and updates, and you're going to get that occasional glitch. You're going to get things that screw up. I have a friend, for example, of mine, Kylie, one of my good friends, one of my best friends. She had a problem with the Steam 2, not Steam, EA Origin code for Sims 3, I believe it was. She had a problem where it would not pick it up on the Sims website. The Sims just registered and said, sorry, that's an invalid code. This was with the, I believe most people see it online, it's called the Humble Bundle. Apparently that particular code didn't work. I have also had issues in the past with some codes that I've tried to use, not from Humble Bundle, but from other sites and things that I've tried to register. Now, saying that, I mean, it's going to happen. We don't live in a perfect world. But at the same time, I mean, you would think, like the Humble Bundle, for example, which is basically, you know, you're donating money, part of it you're donating towards a charitable organisation to, you know, obviously further the betterment of helping people, basically. You would think Humble Bundle would have actually, you know, taken those codes, or, you know, would have in themselves had some type of verification of the codes and everything, and all the codes and everything pretty much worked. Well, that's how my mind would have put it anyway. My theory is that you would have, I don't know, it just seems logical and intelligent that you would have tested it first. Well, not tested it, but have some way to verify with each individual company that the codes that you were getting were actually what they claimed to be, and they worked, and they functioned, and they're good, and they weren't hacked or anything of that nature. Then saying that hacking is on the rise. I mean, hacking is not as bad as it used to be. Well, it is, and then it isn't. It depends on the way and perspective you look at it from. Hacking's a little... I admit I used to sort of dabble in it when I was younger. I don't do it anymore. And it was never sort of anything that I really, you know, extensively wanted to get into. But I used to dabble in it when I was younger. But in all honesty, there's a lot of... Okay. You've got your immoral hackers who just want to cause mayhem and destruction. You've got your script kiddies, as they're called, the ones that just push a button and they launch an attack against the website. Then you've got the ones that actually hack in using code and actually use a Linux or a Unix operating system. Now, at the same time, you've got the moral side of it, whereas people who just want freedom of information, which I can understand. I totally agree with freedom of information. Freedom of information makes total sense. It's smart, it's intelligent, and a government and other entities shouldn't be able to hide behind anonymity completely because of the fact that they don't want to tell the public a particular thing, say, because they feel it's going to hurt their public image. Um, I don't. I personally don't have a problem with that. But at the same time, you've got the immoral hackers, which hacking their credit card numbers, things like that. Other things of that nature, all that type of stuff. Credit card numbers, bank routing numbers, bank accounts. You name it. All that type of stuff. The thing is that I've worked out the premise of it, and the truth is that I don't have anything against somebody morally wanting something to be leaked out because it's immoral and it's fucked and it shouldn't be done, and I'm not against that. But I'm against people sort of being criminalistic and wiping out people's or somebody's pensioner's bank account or something, or wiping out somebody's bank account simply because they can, because they need the money, or they don't need the money, but they're greedy in themselves. I'm not saying that all, scam artists, con artists, hacker type things are that bad, but you do notice a growing trend these days in particular that, to be honest, it saddens me to see the world the way it is, and just to see that type of behaviour being conducted. At the same time, look, I don't have anything against governments wanting to keep things from... Well, no, I do. I have a lot against that, because there's so much that can go on, especially with governments not telling people the entire story. In retrospect, anyway. Anyway, look, I'll probably leave it there for now, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about this stuff anyway. I might re-record or do another video in a little while. Alright, thank you very much. Catch you, YouTube. How you going, YouTube? Sorry, I just had to fix myself up, and I thought I'd come back and do a bit more on what I was saying about. Now, I was going on about governmental departments, combination of. To be honest, look, I don't know, as I said, I don't believe that the government should hide things. I believe that ethical hacking is okay, to a certain extent. As long as it has intent and purpose that is morally correct. Whereas if it's something that's morally incorrect, I'd rather steer away from that. I don't know. You see people launching DOS attacks. You see people launching attacks on other things. I don't know. Technology is getting remarkably better. At the same time, it's getting remarkably worse because of the sense of control that technology is going to have over us in a certain amount of years. That's not all bad, but it can be a little scary in its own right. And I believe, even at this point, it's pretty scary. And it's probably going to turn around and say, well, why do we use technology? Because technology is furthering us as in the evolutionary sense, and in the sense of us evolving and technology evolving with us. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because we're evolving into better. We're evolving to be more efficient. We're evolving to be better at what we do. Then I also believe we shouldn't lose sight of our we shouldn't lose sight of natural alternatives either. I think the problem is we're in between a combo of that. We're losing sight of natural alternatives, and we're sticking to science mostly. But science doesn't always have the answers. And some natural alternatives can help people depending on the person, because some people take natural alternatives better than a pharmaceutical alternative, or something of that nature. Natural alternatives are a great option for people. Natural things further the causes, not just further the causes, but make you feel better. Can make you feel quite good about yourself. Not just that, but they're more inclined to be absorbed by you, by the body, and by human nature. They're more inclined to be absorbed and more inclined to be better for you in some ways. It's like anything. I think any medication or anything like that, or things of that nature, is going to have some type of a side effect which is detrimental. I don't believe there's anything wrong with weed. There's plenty of natural alternatives. Aside from natural, you've got pharmaceutical alternatives which are a combination. We know painkillers are addictive, or codeine, Oxycontin, those narcotic type painkillers are addictive. Now, I mean, if we can find a natural pain alternative that isn't as addictive, that's a plus side, which I believe is weed, from what I've heard from a percentage of people as well. But I mean, like, at the same time, you got to consider a combination of natural alternatives in combination with pharmaceutical, because there are moments where pharmaceutical options are going to be stronger, and they're going to relieve something straight away, pain or otherwise. At the same time, I'm sort of, I'm happy to see the technology and science is progressing, but we shouldn't forget that the Earth is a natural resource, and Earth in general, natural things are not bad for us. I mean, sugar can be a little bad if you have too much of it, but I mean, I don't know, like, the process, like, I don't know what it is. It's the process of, like, just especially when it comes to sugar. Is it refined these days? It's much more refined than it used to be, probably compared to years ago. Well, maybe not as much, I don't know. We could have more stuff back then, but I mean, even then, a lot of that stuff, I mean, if you look at all the technology and we've gone so far, we're doing well as an entire human race. But I think emotionally sometimes we act a little more immature than we should. I know there's given situations where we run off on a tangent, and I'm guilty of it. But then saying that, I'm crazy, so it doesn't really matter. That's my justification for it anyway. My justification for it, yes, is being crazy and also having a myriad of conditions. But at the same time, I'm gonna have these literal moments where I don't give a shit about anybody else but myself, or I just don't give a shit about anything at all. I just don't care, and I pretty much walk off into a psychotic haze of things where I don't really give a shit about people. I don't give a shit about situations. And I'm not going to deny that as a schizophrenic. It's just naturally part of my condition, and I can't avoid it. I can't avoid feeling that way sometimes. Not all the time. I don't feel that way all the time. There are moments where I actually have emotional response to people and their given situations, but at the same time, I like to just. I mean, I don't know. My dad always said the same thing, which he was always on about. He says, don't try not to get too close to people. Because sometimes, I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting close to people, but if you get way too close to people, it's going to hurt you in the long term of things. It's going to hurt you in the sense of, it's not going to make you feel. You get too close to people, you're going to be connected, you're going to worry too much about individual things. And I know I'm guilty of, me personally, I'm guilty of worrying about too much stuff in my life. So I've just gone, fuck it, I'm not going to worry about shit in my life. I'm just going to fucking go with the flow and let the universe fucking sync up with me, to be honest. Because, I mean, it just seems logical and smart to want the universe to sync up. Well, sorry, even sync up with you, or even if you just want to sync up with the universe, just sync. Sometimes it's just easy to go with the flow. Sync up with the universe. Synchronicity, as it were. I think it was on my fucking Facebook. I did a couple of posts on there, which was basically me talking about. It wasn't me talking about. It was basically somebody had a. Oh fuck! What was it? I have to actually have a look what it was on my Facebook, but it was actually synchronicity. It's when you actually go with the flow of the universe instead of you feeling the universe to go with the flow of you. Which makes sense. Sometimes you have to go with the flow of the universe, and you have to just go with it. Just go with where it's taking you, what direction it's giving you, what retrospective it's tuning out towards you, and sometimes it's just the easiest way to take it. I don't know, I've been feeling pretty synced lately with the universe, to be truthful, and I don't feel like I'm out of sync. I try to have fun, I try to enjoy myself. At the same time, I try not to do things too stupid either. And at the other end of it, I try to be intelligent about my choices, most of the time. The other half, I just chop it up and making crazy, stupid decisions because I feel like it. This is pretty much my whole ideology. It's like crazy, stupid decisions just because I fucking feel like it. And I think most of the world is down to that sometimes. But I mean, to be honest, there are some people when your common sense and your logic should override really stupid decisions that you make in your life. To be truthful, don't know, maybe it's just me, but isn't there at least some point in your life where the common sense and logic should override those stupid, like I'm talking about stupid putting fireworks on your dick choice type matters where you just go, oh my god, what the fuck were you thinking? Pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where people come off with that, to be honest. I'm thinking of doing a couple of segments in my YouTube videos. I don't know, there might be involved just me just rattling on about that shit like I'm doing now. Or it might be just me talking about tech stuff. Good combination. But I mean, to be honest and truthful, I'm probably going to go for something that's a little more ranty. I'll call it Daniel's beer time. I'll have a beer in hand, of course, when I'm doing it. And basically I'll go through different things that annoy me and piss me off, or the ultimate wisdoms. I'll probably impart some wisdom. I hope I do. A little bit of wisdom, I don't know, something like that. We'll just go with that. But no, I'll try my best to sort of basically make people understand the whole concept of it, or I don't know, I'll just yabber on about crap and like anything that I can really think of off the top of my head that's relevant to this whole irrelevant point of reference we call the human race. Because I mean, half the time you just sit there and go, well, what the fuck is this human race, seriously? Are we seriously here, man? Yes, we're here. I'm sorry, we are here. But yeah, I don't know, probably that. Probably, I'm going to do a segment like that. It's definitely something I want to do. Then I'll do my tech videos, obviously, because I love my tech videos and I love my technology. And I know what I'm doing when it comes to my technology. I have to do some videos of me doing stuff, but I want to do some ranty videos. I want to try to do some comic stuff. I want to see if I can make people laugh with some of the factoids and stupid shit that I just end up saying because I have one or two beers and just feel like fucking saying it regardless. Because why the fuck not, I say, to be honest, to be truthful. Because, I mean, at the end of it, I just go, fuck it. What is the point of being stuck in what you would classify as a, not ranty, but what's the point of being stuck in a conformist pattern? Don't conform. I mean, you got to go against the grain occasionally. You got to go against being conformative. You just got to be shocktastic sometimes. Just a little more open with yourself. Nothing wrong with shocking people, but at the same time, I really, 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 really do not understand the concept of putting fireworks to your penis. It does not make sense at all. What the fuck? Seriously, there's something seriously mentally wrong with these people. I hate to say it, but there's some comments on the internet, on YouTube, on other places that I get, even with sarcastic humour, for fuck's sake. I still don't understand what the fuck they're on about, to be truthful. And it just makes me scratch my head and go, really? What? Are you fucking... Yeah. I could offer comments, but comments, I don't think any comments would cover, especially with what people, some of the crap that I've seen on the internet, photo-wise, otherwise, there's just nothing that would cover exactly how stupid some people can be with some things. And fuck, I ain't perfect, but I ain't that fucking stupid. I ain't that fucking dumb to do something stupid, I mean, everybody makes mistakes and everybody's entitled to a few mistakes, but fuck me. I don't know, I've come to the conclusion that I'm a lot more accurate than most people I'm coming across these days. I'm like, fuck me dead. Yeah. And I'm pretty happy to be accurate. I don't know, sometimes I really don't know. I do know some other people as well. I know a couple of people who think that they're above judgment, which I guess you could call this me judging people, but I'm not really judging them, I'm just pointing out some facts. It's just, it's just me pointing out the fact that maybe these people need to think about what they're doing. I mean, it's not that hard to think, you know what I mean? Well, I don't know, me personally I don't find it hard to fucking think, but they obviously do. I don't know. I guess I guess you could call it a judgment. If you want to call it a judgment, that's fine. But I do pretty well for myself, so why can't I judge a couple of people? I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem with me being a bit of a judge on things, especially when some people do what they do in some situations. You know? And I don't see a problem with judging. I don't see a problem with judging because, you know, as my friend put it, I'm perfect at being me. I'm not perfect as in perfect, but I'm perfect at being me, who I am as a person. There's nobody else that could be me, who could pull off my antics, or me, personally, my personality anyway. So yeah, I'm perfect at being me. Simple as that. Okay, thank you very much. Catch you YouTube. Just please stay tuned. Got more coming up, obviously. So yeah.